Okay, so I thought I would go through something that I hadn't showcased in any of the lectures for the workshop, and that's how to clean up your project. So far I've shown you super organized projects, but that's not really the case when you start to get into coding. So here's a project that I'm working on right now. And let's see if we blows up. As you can see, there are several different files here. And sometimes when you're coding, you might run into an issue where you just want to isolate one part of the project. So for example, I'll have one here where I was testing a new package that I found on GitHub. And I'm just trying to see if I can get the output that I need. So I'm trying to isolate this, and I called this GitHub test. But obviously I don't need that in the final version of this project. That's just something I can delete. So at this point, because I'm getting closer to the end of the project, I'm going to go through all of my files, delete what's not good, rename it if needed, and I wanted to show you how I do that for my project. So there's two ways to do it. I'm going to show you both. The first, and I think the most preferable, is to go into the main.r file. So right here, which you should have access to in the my project name, you'll notice that if we make this a little bit smaller, on the side I have the name of all the R scripts that I am using. So here, let's bring this in a little bit. So right here on the right hand side, I have all of the R scripts, and then it starts. So it's kind of nice because I can just fold it like this. But there's three main components that make up the what I put in. So the first is the information. You need to have a general description of what this does. The second, which is very frustrating if you're taking over someone else's project, is if the script requires an input. Is there a file or an R data file or an Excel file, whatever input that's required for the code to run? And then I also usually put the output, because if I am looking at a manuscript and I need to find where a particular table was created, having this is really good. And then the final line is a source. And what source allows me to do is whenever I have all of these files, so there's several files where I don't want to skim through everything, I can just go here and go Control Enter. And I should be able to run everything in order. So that's another component of this. You want to try and put things in order that they're needed. But again, this is one way. The second way is you can put it in data report, where you can render the file like this. I don't like this as much because I normally work with scripts because I have larger projects, but this is also a way of doing it. So whenever I'm creating a temporary file, I try and use the word temp, so TMP, which I think I should have an example here, temp.r, or test, so that I can go back and I know that these files were just things where I was trying to mess around and get something to work. So hopefully that makes sense for everyone on how to clean this up. You're going to want to clean up both your RMD files and your scripts so that you have something that every file that you're using is either in data report or in your main.r file.